don't know who's mowing. Sorry, but this is supposed to be my English moth, but I decided to post it on YouTube because I think it could be educational to anybody who wants to watch it, who stumbles across it on YouTube, because I learned something from it and maybe you will too. Basically, I'm going to explain what a moth is first for those of you that don't know. My moth is basically, sorry, I probably have said that 100 times, but a moth is basically just a story that has happened to you in your life and you learn something from it, or something big that has happened to you. Like, you just tell a story that has happened. And my story today is going to be my stalker story. I'm going to start it off. It happened a few years ago. Like, that's when it all started, was a few years ago. It was my sophomore year, and I remember the first day it ever happened so vividly in my head, because I was on the back of my bus, me and my little bus gang were just hanging out, cool kids. We were in high school, we were freshmen. I got to sit at the back of the bus, and I get an ad on my phone, and we were just sitting there waiting for the buses to start going, so I was just on my phone, hanging out. I go and see who added me, and it says this girl's name. I'm not going to say her name. I don't know. I'm not going to say her name. But she was a year older than me, and the username was very clearly her name. It was her first name and her last name. And I add her back, didn't think anything of it, not a big deal. I thought maybe she just made a new Snapchat. I don't know. So I add them back. Immediately they Snapchat me back. They're like, hey, we start a conversation, back and forth. What's up? What are you doing? Nothing much. How about you? Just the basic conversation that you have when you're Snapchatting someone. And then very soon I realized that it is not the girl who I thought it was. They're weird. They're asking me for all of these weird pictures. They're saying, snap me through pictures only, Snapchat me pictures of your collarbone with backflash on it. This, remember this in this thing that they just said. Just remember this other story. The collarbone with backflash. And, pictures of my hip bones with, a high view. I don't know. They would just ask me for weird pictures, and I never sent them any. I always thought it was very weird. And then they said something about, the clothes that I was wearing. My red shorts. They're like, I like your red shorts. And I was wearing red shorts that day. They obviously knew me. And that kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I kind of was hoping that it was just one of my friends at school messing with me, maybe someone on my bus. So I don't really answer them. I get home. I get more Snapchats from them. They're saying, they know when I get home from school. Off the bus, they knew that I was home. And I remember this was on a Wednesday or Friday, because those are the only days when, right when I get home, no one's home yet. I get home first before everyone else. So my stepdad is with my mom in there, getting my grandma or whatever. There's normally a 30-minute time period when I'm home alone for those 2 days of the week. And they said, they brought that up. They knew that. They knew that my parents were not there. And that was so scary to me, that they knew my routine. People really close to me knew my routine, but 3 or 4 people tops would know that. And I got really scared. I block them. I don't really think anything about it. I kind of try to push it to the back of my head, forget about it, whatever. So then over the next few years, yes, I get many ads from multiple different people. I don't know if it's the same person, if it's different people, but they're all different names. They never use the same name. And it's always random names. They've tried to use other people at my school's names, so they have to know other people that go to my school or that went to my school. And just other random names like John Smith. That's not one of them, but just something that's very generic. So then, this happens for many years. They add me. I know who it is because when I add them, if I add them back, they will say like snap me through pics only, collarbone, backflash, the same things. And then I started to tell that they like what accounts they were because they would always have no like bitmoji under like by their name, and they would never have a high snap score. Like the highest it would be like 100, and normally people have like millions of like really high snap scores. So I realized, and then I stopped adding them. So then fast forward a few years, this was in August of going into my junior year. I went to this Irish festival, and if you live anywhere in Central Ohio, I'm sure you know what it is. Pretty much everyone goes there. Like, there's not really a whole lot to do. You kind of just go there to, like, see people from other schools. Like, you kind of went when you were younger. I don't really know if I'm going to go this year. But, sorry, I got distracted. But, so we just gotten back from Irish Festival, and it was me and my best friend, Morgan. And I had told her about this before, like how these things had happened to me, and she knew about it. And we're at my house. It's kind of late, probably around like really late, probably like 2 or 3 in the morning. And we're just sitting in my room. And I get an ad on Snapchat under this account name, and it's Mexum. And, like, that's my name. Like, Maddie Exum is my name, and they use my name. So I add them back. I think it's one of my friends or something. And then I soon realize that it is that person. And they're like, please let me meet you. Let me pay you. I want to meet up with you. Like, I have cash. I'll meet you in person. Just like promise me, like I promise me that you'll do it, like I'll tell you who I am and everything. They were just trying to like get me to meet up with them somewhere. I don't even know where they wanted to meet me. I didn't ask them. It didn't get that far. But so they are saying all these things, and then I'm like, no, if you don't tell me who you are, I'm gonna block you. And they're like, if you block me, I'm gonna show up to your house tonight. And I was a little scared when they said this because I remember my parents always go on a little trip in August out of the country, and this year they chose Ireland. They were gone for that week. So I was scared. I was home alone. It was just me, my friend, and my grandma. And my grandma is like 85. She couldn't do anything to help me if someone broke in. So they say, block me, and I show up to your house tonight. And I was being a little smartass and kind of trying to make them bluff to see if they were serious or not. And I said, that's fine. I have a security system. Like, I do have a security system outside. So if they broke in, like, at least the cops would come. And they were like, oh, that's easy. That's the power switch on the side of your house. And my power box is on the side of my house, which is hopefully a coincidence. They say that, and I freak out. I block them immediately. That might have been the wrong thing to do, but I blocked them. I was so scared. Me and my friend are sitting in my room. I was terrified. I had not said anything to Morgan yet. I was just freaking out. So I know Morgan gets way more freaked out about things than me, and I didn't want to scare her, so I wasn't going to tell her yet. I was just going to ask her if she would come downstairs with me to go lock the doors, to make sure the doors were locked, like all of the doors in the house. And I didn't tell her why, because I knew if I told her she wouldn't go down with me. So I asked her, will you go downstairs with me? And she was like, okay, let me get my phone charger, and then I'll go with you. And her phone charger was over here. We were sitting over on my bed. She walks over, and right here's a window. Her phone charger was laying on the ground over here. She walks over, and she comes and sits back down, and she's like, why do you want me to go downstairs with you? Like, what was your reasoning for that? And so I tell her, I'm like, Morgan, like these messages, I had taken screenshots of some of them, and I show her, and I'm like, this is happening. And she was like, I didn't want to say anything before because I know like sometimes I just tweak and I see things, but when I went over to get my phone charger, I could have sworn I saw someone in your backyard. And when she said that, my heart dropped. I was terrified. I was like, yep, my stalker's here. They're ready to kidnap me. They're going to kill me. They're not going to give me my money now because I wouldn't meet up with them. Now they're just going to kill me. So me and her sit in my room. We're preparing for this person to just walk through my door right now and just murder us. I have my lacrosse stick in my hand, shivering like this, holding it. Morgan has pepper spray and like her keys in her hand. And so then, this is kind of bad, but so then these people slid up on my Snapchat story. It was really late. It was like 4 a.m. These boys slid up on my story, and they were like, hey, I knew who they were, so like don't worry, it wasn't like sus or anything, but I knew who they were. They were like, hey, like what are you doing, want to hang? And me and Morgan heard that, and we were like, oh, yep, we're out of this house, like let's go. Morgan gets her keys, we open the door, we leave, we drive out the door, we're gone. And then I tell my mom the next day, I tell her, and we left and went to a friend's house because we were scared. I tell her the whole story, and I'd never told her that before, anything about it before. And then keep going a couple more years. I'm now about to graduate. I'm a senior, about to graduate. Kind of, not really graduate, but that's something else. So that recently I get another ad on Snapchat from a girl this time. Normally it's not a girl, normally it's a boy. The first time it was a girl, but after that it was normally boys. And this was around the time of me trying to find a roommate. This was probably in like December. And so I posted in this like BG group chat, and I gave them like my social medias, my Snapchat, Instagram, and everything. So I was used to girl accounts adding me on Snapchat and just adding them back. So I get an ad on Snapchat from this person named Lexi. I don't remember what their last name was, but it was a fake last name. And they add me, and they say all of the same things that this other person used to say, like backflash, meet up with me, I promise I'll tell you who I am, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, bro, I'm so sick and tired of this. I'm like, please just tell me who you are. Like, I'm blocking you. I'm so done. Like, what do you want from me? And they're just saying the same thing. Like, they want to meet up with me, whatever. And my friends are like texting them. My friends are getting bold and like blah blah blah. We're all sitting downstairs in my basement. They're like, oh, whatever, you're not a stalker, you're just some blah blah blah. I don't know. They were just like deciding to be bold for some reason and text them. So they text them, and we had just been outside, and we were talking about this 4-wheeler that I have under my patio, how Ethan wanted to buy it. We were just talking about that, and then we went inside, and we were like, I was back on my phone texting this person, and then out of nowhere, this account Snapchats me and says, Wheeler. Excuse me? Wheeler? What kind of Wheeler? I was so scared. So then I'm like, what do you mean, Wheeler? They're like, nothing, never mind. And then they're like, go upstairs into your room. Like, go upstairs alone. And so I tell my friends that they said that. They're like, oh, they're not a stalker. They just want nudes. There's some weird person adding you. They just want nudes. And then seconds later, I got a Snapchat, and they're like, I don't just want nudes. So I guess they're probably going to know that I'm posting this, because I'm assuming that my house is tapped and they hear everything I say. I'm telling you, if none of you believe me, I have friends that were literally there. I don't know how to like prove it. I guess I can like get a video of them saying that they were there, but I guess you can choose not to believe me. But a few other weird occurrences that have happened over these few years. I was at Bibby Bop, and Bibby Bop Slaps, if any of you guys know what that is. But so I was there with my friend, and we had gone in, and it was really crowded. There was nowhere to sit, so we decided to eat in the car. And my friend and I pull into the very back corner so no one can watch us eat. And we go into the very back. There's no cars around us. Like, it was a big parking lot. There were no cars. There were many open spaces by us. This gray car, silver gray, tinted windows, so black you can't even see through them, pull in right next to us and just sit there. Don't get out, don't move, nothing. They just sit there in the parking spot right next to us. And so I tell my friend, I'm like, bro, get out of here. Like, that's scary. Get out of here. So we pull up, get up out of there. And another time, I was in my car late at night with my friend, and this car drove past my car, the same exact one, like silver tinted windows, like a sports car, drove past my car, like super slow past my car, and then sped up, and we were on a cul-de-sac. So they went around the cul-de-sac, came around, slowed down by my car again, and did it like 3 or 4 more times afterwards. So then me and my friend got up through there too. But yeah, after all of these occurrences, I finally went to my school resource officer. I told multiple people about it, like a lot of people that have like cops as parents, and they all said that there's really nothing that they can do about it. Like, just don't add them back on Snapchat, I guess, is all they can do. But so I told my school resource officer, and he decided that he was going to get the Snapchat name, and he was going to like try to track them through their IP address and do all of this hacky stuff. I never really heard anything back about that. So if you're my stalker, what's up? You made it onto my YouTube, but congratulations. This is a long video, so if you have been listening this long, thanks for sticking around. And if anything like this has ever happened to you, comment below and tell me about it, because I want to know if this is happening to anyone else or if it's just me. Yeah, thank you.